All right, joining me live and in color is Elmo Kirkwood. I guess you best know his work with the Meat Puppets. It's Trevor, Joe Lennon's Guerrilla Radio, broadcasting around the world. We have listeners in the UK. We have listeners in Canada. We have listeners in Hollywood. They tune me in at the Gold's Gym in Los Angeles. How insane is that? I don't consider what I play workout music. I just played Nirvana, the Foo Fighters, and the Melvins for you.
Oh, excellent.
Tell me about the process of the Meat Puppets from the early days in Phoenix to become this extraordinary band. And did your dad run into Kurt Cobain in the early days, and then he had questions for your dad, or no?
Oh, I don't believe so. I don't think he'd ever met him until later on, like the 90s, I'm sure. Just kid got successful and was always into my pop's music, and just decided to take him on tour. And then, that begets the Unplugged thing and, so forth. But no, I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was just a band he'd been really into when he was younger. And when he was in to, do something about it, or I don't know, for lack of a better term, he did. So, that's how that worked out.
Yeah. Meat Puppets from Phoenix, Arizona. Do you still make Phoenix your home?
I do. My father lives in Austin, Texas, and has for 20 years now. But my uncle, who's also in the band, he lives in Phoenix. The drummer of the band also lives in Texas. So half of us are in Austin, but half of us are still here in Phoenix. So, yeah, Phoenix, Arizona.
The only other band I knew from Phoenix from Arizona was Alice Cooper.
Yeah, Alice is from Phoenix originally. He still lives out here, or he did. He had a radio show out here for years, and he's around. I've never met the guy. I've never seen him around, but yeah, I'm sure he's lurking somewhere.
I got to tell you, I've been in Tampa for about 8 years or so. I've been in Florida for 19. And doing radio for 3 decades now. So everything is structured from my 60s show that is worldwide to what I do now. Plus, I do the marketing for the stations. But I ran into a guy, believe this if you will. I was working, helping out with the marketing aspect, and Mako got a hold of me. And this guy had pictures of Alice Cooper, not known as Alice Cooper back then, was on the track team with this guy in Arizona. In high school.
Oh, that's hilarious.
In high school. So Alice was a distance runner.
Right. His name is Vince, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something. That's funny. Well, hey, I guess humans are dynamic creatures. So, multifaceted there.
The Meat Puppets, you're getting into the band a little bit later on. And
a bit later.
Yeah, but you have had a couple of bands of your own, and there's been this kid that's been messaging me from Ohio, Adam Casto, and he's got an album called Nerd Table, and he says, ask Elmo to talk about a song you did on it. So tell me about how Adam got a hold of you.
Okay, so my connection to Adam, and boy, let me tell you real quick, you're giving this kid a golden nugget right here. He is just drooling in his drawers.
I know. He hit. We talked for a second, and I said, I almost shut you down because you're an Ohio State Buckeye, and I'm a University of Michigan Wolverine. And I'm just going to side with you. Just. Okay, go back to Adam.
Okay, back to Adam. Sorry. So I knew him. I think he had probably just gone to see the Meat Puppets before I joined the band live, and he had talked to my uncle about providing some artwork for one of his albums, which in turn happened. And then somewhere down the line, I either meet him or we're Facebook friends or whatever came first. I can't recall. But I have met him at shows and such, and he's an affable character, and he's persistent, and I guess that pays off. But he asked me if I would do some artwork for one of his albums, which I did. And then he asked if I would play guitar on a song, and I told him I would. So he sent some tracks over, and through the magic of computers, I just recorded some guitar stuff for one of his songs, and I did it in one take, and I improv'd it, and I sent it to him, and he really liked it, and I was like, well, that was the easiest free work I've ever done. I figured my output could meet my payment, so I gave what I was getting. No, but I actually really liked it. I think it just turned out it was cool. It was organic, and I liked the song that he asked me to play on. I actually thought it was cool. And there's no accounting for taste, so who knows whether it really is. But it was cool. I started, I played this thing I had, and I drew a lead down, and I was done, and it worked out. So he was satisfied, and I'm satisfied, because,
I don't know where he came from, other than he saw that the Melvins were in town, and I actually cooked for the Melvins. I made stuffed spinach shells. Dale Crover's done my show several times, and I helped.
Awesome.
I helped push his album, The Fickle Finger of Fate, and then I helped push the Melvins' new album, which came out at the same time. But if you looked at Facebook, it kind of got lost under Crover's solo attempt, because Rolling Stone jumped in there and all that. But when you're dealing with a person that can go back and has appeared on a Nirvana album, that's what all started for me, as to, having Dale Crover on and then having him on again and again and again and again. And I was able to reach out to Buzz backstage, and he says, when am I getting on your show? And I said, whenever you want. So, but you see Adam on here, who's like coming after me with the Melvins, and then last weekend I was with the Psychedelic Furs. So,
awesome.
And so, the Furs, I had a bunch of those guys on, and then we were actually, when you meet the band, it's even better, you're hanging out for a couple of minutes, and you're not, I'm asking, when does the new material happen? And it's in January that they start working on a new album, which is cool because you don't see that printed anywhere. So, that's fun. And I think I think Adam is having fun, isn't he?
Oh, he's having a hell of a time. I mean, aside from when he gets a little bit sappy and sad on his Facebook post, he seems to be having a real good time with all of this. But I think it's cool. He's just some dude who, somehow talks people into doing stuff. And it happens, I'm not really a real person that anybody gives a crap about, but he gets people that are real people, or repeat, that people are going to pay attention to, and he gets them to do stuff. It's kind of impressive. I don't know what it is, because I mean,
honestly, I reached out.
It's not I don't get it. He's some sort of sorcerer.
I reached out through. I looked at Nerd Table, and I saw Crover on there, and I saw Buzz on there, and then I saw your name on there, and I saw the Butthole Surfers, and now I see Pearl Jam's Dave. You got to help me with his last name. The drummer.
You know what? Your guess is as good as mine. It has an A and a B.
Yeah.
R.
But he said he's excited about doing my show, and he goes, Carmine Appice is a regular on your show from the Vanilla Fudge. And I said, yeah, he's been on every week for 17 years.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So, hey, you're going to have to give a holler to Kurt to give me a buzz at some point, okay?
Yeah, I'll do my best. I certainly don't do his bidding, but I guess it's what little influence I have, I can try to...
Here's the thing. Aren't you working on a solo project yourself?
Yeah. Yes, I am. I have ever-evolving solo projects. I'll start something and decide that I could do something better and start working on that. But I am doing solo stuff. I want to try to get an EP happening. I threatened to do one a few years ago, and I got most of it done, and then I just tossed it because I didn't care anymore. I just decided I wanted to do different stuff. So I am working on stuff though all the time, but I have a bunch of songs I really like right now. So
I saw a picture on, I think, Facebook of you and Dean Delio.
Oh yeah, from Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys do tours together or what?
You know, my Meat Puppets toured with them way back in the 90s, and they've done shows with them more recently. When I was a little kid, like 10 years old, I have a twin sister, and my dad took the two of us on tour with them for a week or two. I don't even remember. Throughout California, though, and they were playing a bunch of shows with Stone Temple Pilots. So this is 94, and it's Stone Temple Pilots, and their second album had just come out, and they were massive. So I'm like a little kid, like hanging out backstage at these massive rock venues and these huge rock shows. It was just the funniest thing. It wasn't like super crazy, but maybe my barometer for what's super crazy is a little different. So it was awesome, though. But yeah, I've known Dean since then, since I was like 10, and it's not like it's a guy I know really well or see all the time, but that's a really sweet dude. You meet lots of nice people, you know, and then plenty of not so nice people, but that guy's genuinely like a sweetheart. He's really cool.
Hey, Pat Mears, speaking of Nirvana, he did work in the Meat Puppets, didn't he?
Oh, Pat Smear? I don't know.
Because I saw where he did some guitar work, and Chris Novoselic, too, did some work with the Meat Puppets. That's what I read, anyway, unless it's a misnomer.
You know what? That might be fake news. You might have stumbled on some. You know what? I feel like such a clown for using something like that term, just because it's such a thing right now. But I actually think we might have stumbled upon some. But Novoselic did have a connection. Chris and my father had a band about 15 years ago, and they also had the drummer from Sublime, Bud Gott, called Eyes Adrift. So Chris and my dad had a separate band, Chris Novoselic. So
that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
So see, that's not fake news.
Well,
it's a real thing.
Yeah. We had to amend it we had to twist it into being right. we did it. We did it with teamwork. So there you go.
Hey, you mentioned that you're working on a possible solo project that you want to be an EP. Are you working with somebody else on it, or are you doing a Stevie Wonder and playing all parts?
Oh, you know, most likely it'll be me playing everything, but one of my main musical partners throughout my life is this dude, Brian Boyer, and he would be the one that would essentially engineer the whole thing for me and help me with production and just do like the majority of the programming. I do a lot of stuff with computers now and synthesizers and crap like that, and real stuff still too, but I like to use all that junk, and he's my Mr. Wizard on the spot, so he'd be the one helping me out the most on this stuff. But It's still going to be like just me. Like I'll play all the crap mostly, you know, and do all the stuff. I like it like that, you know. If I was going to do it live, I would do it the same way. It's how I always recorded my demos. I played the drums, bass, guitar, piano, or keys, or any of that stuff. I'd rather just play it myself. I know how to play all of it, so I like it to just be me. In my old band, Kirkwood Johnson, we used to switch instruments anyhow. We would do it live. We'd all switch who was playing what all the time, but we'd do it on recordings too. So I played drums, bass, keys, glockenspiel, guitar, all that stuff on my records already. I've already played all the instruments, so I like it that way. I think it gives it... I love playing in a band too, and I love like the chemistry that happens when different humans get together and just create this like collective energy, and then it just starts to like go and almost, you know, move on its own. That's also really special. But I also like the robot wizardry of being able to just record all the crap myself and, you know, have it be totally like, what would it be like if there were 5 me's? Well, here's 5 me's on top of each other, you know, like that.
Elmo Kirkwood, do you know of new material, or what are the Meat Puppets up to?
You know what? I couldn't say. My old man, Kurt, has been threatening for quite a while, but we'll see. That dude's interesting. He's a different sort of guy. He doesn't sit around the house and play music all the time or practice or write songs, but when he decides to get in his little moods, he'll write a whole album or more. You know, he'll have enough to make a full album and then have crap left over, I'm sure. And you know, for whatever it's worth, it's all going to be actual stuff. You know, none of it's just toss-off nonsense. It's real songs. So he gets in his little fits and spurts, and then it's just on. He's a total workhorse and just gets stuff done. So whenever he decides or feels like it, or if it feels like it, you know, whatever, it'll happen. But I don't know. Until then, people have been asking for years. It's been a while. So.
Well, I'll let you go, and we'll probably have to do a follow-up interview because I'm sure that Adam is going to probably, I don't know, we might have to revive him somehow, or we'll see what happens anyway. I'll send him the interview, and I'll send it to you too. So you take care, and
you as well.
It's cool that we're now connected. Okay, so you're connected to my show and connected to everybody else. All right.
Yeah, awesome. I really appreciate it. I love talking to new people, and I also love having the platform to shoot my mouth off. I appreciate the time, man. I hope you have a good one.
Okay.